Hello, warriors. This one is for my side hustlers. How do you know when it's time to quit your job? Hi, I'm Nile Harris, a life strategist, business consultant, and speaker working with growing entrepreneurs and professionals to break the habit of waiting and make the jump to pursue their purpose and passion with a plan. And before we get started with this juicy topic of how do you know when it's time to quit your job and go for that side hustle, love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the alerts so you know when I post new content, and follow me at I am Nile Harris on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and let's connect on LinkedIn as well. Now let's dive into it, because right now research shows that the workforce by 2027 will be almost just over half of freelancers, those participating in the gig economy, and Gen Xers right now are feeling a bit frustrated and sort of squeezed out in the workplace or professional development. So we have a lot of folks out there who have amazing side hustles and are thinking about when to make that jump. When do I give up my main hustle, my 9 to 5, and go for it? Just go for it. If that's something you want to do. If that's not something you want to do, that's okay. You can have a main hustle and a side hustle. This is how to know when you're ready to make that jump. And I want to get started by first congratulating you on even thinking about it and considering it, because there are folks who are watching this right now who are sitting in their cubicles or in their car on the highway making that difficult drive to work, thinking, gosh, I just don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to do this. I would love to pursue my side hustle. So that is number 1. Your side hustle gives you life. That is the number 1 reason here, or number 1 on the list, rather, of how you know when it's time to quit your job. And what do I mean by your side hustle gives you life? You wake up thinking about it, or it's the first thing on your mind outside of your family that you think about that brings you joy. Now, when you wake up in the morning, it might be on your mind of going to work, like, I gotta get ready for work. That's not the first thing I'm talking about. The first thing after your family, your dog, cat, your hamster, whatever, the first thought that brings you joy, is it your side hustle? Is it that you can't wait to get through your day so you can get back home or get to lunch and have time to work on your side hustle? So is it something that brings you joy? That's how you know when it's something that you could make a business out of, potentially, money aside, or how much you're charging for it aside. If you are passionate about something, if it brings you purpose, that is key, because you're gonna need something that, even if you're not passionate about it, but you're deeply interested in it, that's gonna be key to staying motivated and building that willpower muscle. Because willpower, we're not just born with a certain store of willpower, right? We build that up over time, and we build it up by exercising it, by doing things that inspire us and release those feel-good chemicals in our brain. So if working on your side hustle keeps you up at night because you can't stop working on it, or you're waking up in the middle of the night with ideas and you just need more hours of the day, that is a good sign that it might be time to move toward doing your side hustle as your main hustle and pursuing that as your dream. The second sign that you are ready to quit your job and pursue your side hustle is the free education you receive isn't teaching you anything anymore. What? Free education? When I went to business school, it was an alumni conference. Every year there's an alumni conference. And one of the alumni speakers was talking about his journey to becoming an entrepreneur. He started in corporate America, and he referred to corporate America as his free education, his free training ground. He was paid to learn, is how he described it, because he knew that one day he wanted to run a business. So he put his hand up for every project that taught him anything about finance, strategy, managing initiatives, leadership, hiring, anything where he could get that on the job paid training or free training, that he could then transition into running his own business. And he had several McDonald's franchises, and he was thinking about expanding into other types of franchises. But he looked at his 9 to 5, that corporate America job, whatever job, it doesn't matter if it's corporate America. If you work at Starbucks, if you work at Chipotle, I don't care where you work, if you are a hairstylist working under another hairstylist at their salon. It doesn't matter where you are. If you are getting paid to work there, there are things that you could be learning. So, but here's the thing. At some point, you might not be learning anything anymore. And that's a sure sign that it's at least time to move on from that opportunity. And one of the ways that can manifest or show itself is maybe you're not getting the professional development that you want, or you're not getting the promotions that you want, or you're not getting assigned to specific projects or being allowed to work in certain parts of the business. And it is now the tables have sort of turned where your employer is getting more of the benefit from the relationship than you are. It's supposed to be symbiotic. You get paid, you provide a service. The more they grow you, the better you perform and enhance their results. If you are only enhancing their results and they are not giving you the growth, then it's definitely time to move on from that particular arrangement or employer. And maybe you want to go to another employer, or maybe your side hustle, it's time to pursue that side hustle. And it's time to take what you've learned or been paid to learn and invest that into growing your side hustle. Number 3 sign that you are ready to quit your job and pursue your side hustle is that you plan for it financially. You have thought about how much money you would need for startup costs, how much money you would need in a savings account to be able to help you float yourself. So some of the things that you should think about is you should have at least 6 months of pay saved to cover your bills and then also cover any business costs that you might incur. You should also consult an accountant for appropriate tax strategies, and then pay for startup costs. So any startup costs, if you're going to become an LLC, if you need certain equipment, printers, whatever, getting a URL, a website, all of those startup costs, think about those, and then acquire those things while you are still employed. So use that paycheck to invest in your business. Don't give up the paycheck and then budget for purchasing or acquiring those needed items after you've quit your job. Create a budget and a system, please. I advise entrepreneurs, either full-time entrepreneurs or side hustle entrepreneurs, who do not take time to create systems for managing their finances. And I've never seen that go well, not one time. So I want you to get an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet. It does not have to be fancy. I want you to track your income. I want you to track your expenses. I want you to make a budget for every month. You can do a budget of every quarter by just simply, summing the 3 months, but at least, have it every month, and then for the year. And then I want you to very simply subtract your expenses from your income. And there you have your EBIT, or your earnings before interest and taxes, and depreciation. And so if you want to do EBITDA, but keep it simple, track your income, track your expenses, have a budget. Forecasting and modeling, which is basically looking forward. So if you are a consultant, a speaker, or you actually have a physical product that you want to sell, or you have software or service, doesn't matter. You should forecast and model. So modeling will help you identify, if I have how many customers do I need to reach my desired income. So if your income goal is 100,000 in your first year, your model will tell you, based on your expenses and your budget, how many customers that you need to achieve 100,000. And that's also your pricing strategy is in there as well. So have that forecasting and modeling done so that you are always looking forward in your business, right? Because you want to work on your business, not in your business, and you want to have a forward looking, because we, in that day-to-day hustle and grind, it's very easy to get into that to-do list and that task list and not be looking forward. So modeling and forecasting will help you with that. If you are doing a startup and you're going to want to get investment dollars, forecasting and modeling is a standard that's going to need to be in your pitch deck or any type of pitch. So that forecasting, modeling, the expenses, your net income, balance sheet, all that's going to be standard. And also have some paying clients too before you go. So if you've been doing the side hustle, you probably already have at least 2 or 3 paying clients, and build that network. So give yourself some runway. Say you're going to quit in 6 months. Spend that 6 months, getting those startup items that you need, but also building your network and getting things like testimonials, getting also introductions to other potential clients. So be working on that, so you are hitting the ground running when you quit your job, and on that first day of the new day, the first day of your new business. Number 4 sign that you are ready to quit your job and pursue your passion and purpose with a plan is that you have thought through your business operations. Basically, all that behind the scenes work that has to get done. What is your invoicing system, your logo, your brand? What's your business model? All those very unsexy things that people like me love. All right. I love strategy. Like, what's the plan? What are our initiatives? What are our goals? What's the feedback loop? Invoicing, and making sure that everything is professional. One of the things I always tell people, that when it comes to pricing and attracting your ideal customer, having a professional appearance in all aspects definitely helps that, and it telegraphs value. People pay for value. So, one of the things that I find to be a bit of a pet peeve, it's not a deal breaker, but it is a pet peeve, is that nowadays it's so easy to get your domain, to go, pay $9, $12 a year in a lot of places, on a lot of sites, a year to get your domain. And then maybe it's $6 a month or $10 a month to have that as an email. So even if you're not going to create a website, at least use that domain in your email. It telegraphs. If you're going to be using Instagram or Facebook as a platform for selling, or Shopify, have a domain name for at least your email. And the difference between having a domain and having a website is the domain is your www.domain.com. Your website is where you would talk about your services, and that might be hosted by the same place where you bought your domain. So you can buy a domain from places like Google Domain, and then you can build a website and host that website on Bluehost. But I have another video about how to go about doing that, and I'll put the link in the comments. But think about all of those back office things and have that figured out, because you don't want to waste or spend any extra minutes on figuring out the structure and infrastructure of your business while you are also trying to make business and get and attract customers and clients. Lastly, number 5, a sign that you are ready to make the jump is that you have people riding for you. And what do I mean by that? You have a team of cheerleaders, and it doesn't matter what form that takes. But here's what I tell people. When you make the jump, the universe has no choice but to rise up to meet you. And you will find that there were people waiting in the gap for you. You didn't even know that they were there. When I finally decided, like, I'm going to pursue this, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a life strategist and a business consultant and a speaker, and I'm going to pursue this full time. I'm going to package my 24 years of experience and my education, and I'm going to package it because I love to see people win. I believe, a dream realized can change the world. And I love to see people win. My aha moment was that when I realized that I don't have to be an employee of someone else to help them win. I can take all of my expertise and teach you about strategy and marketing and back office and finance and all of these things and coach you through it. As a life strategist, I help you integrate all parts of your life, not just those personal development goals that you want to achieve, but your personal, your professional, and your business goals. Because I've done sales and marketing. And so now I'm teaching you and sharing with you how to do it so that you can achieve your dream. That's my why. That's what I love to do. And once I stepped out and I had that aha moment and I stepped out, the universe rose up to meet me. People started asking me about speaking. People started asking me about guest blogging or submitting articles. And people started asking me about my coaching experience and how can I help them with that. But I also had to put myself out there, right? I had to put myself out there on social media and on a website and all of that. My point here is that you'll know you're ready to make the jump because there are people who are encouraging you, who are writing for you. And a lot of times it's going to be some unexpected folks. And you should also seek out people who are on the same path as you. At some point, I realized, and I was sort of looking around at my circle of friends and realized everybody around me is interested in starting a business, or at the very least having a side hustle. Everybody around me is that my dad was the consummate entrepreneur in starting his own photography studio. My sister is a warrior at wanting to have multiple streams of income. And I ended up having friends come into my life who are business owners, who have built businesses, who may have also had 9-to-5s. And some, they built businesses and those businesses didn't work out. They went back to corporate America or back to a 9-to-5. They built it again, made the jump again. And I realized I had unknowingly attracted these people into my life. I had unknowingly gravitated toward them. So now I had all these people, all these built-in cheerleaders who were riding for me. And will there be people who aren't riding for you, who don't cheer for you? Yep, sure will. And that's okay. Don't get frustrated. Don't get angry. Don't get upset. It says more about them than it does about you. And don't give that negativity any energy. Just, continue to gravitate toward those people who are in the same path. Not every person is meant to be with you in your journey. And when I left Chicago where I was born and raised almost 20 years ago now. And I used to attend church on Wednesday nights because I played soccer on Sunday mornings. And I will never forget this sermon where the pastor said that we let people stay in our life way past their due season. And I want you to know that whether you subscribe to a religion or you're spiritual or agnostic, this I found is universally true. We let people stay in our lives way past their due season. We are waiting for them to be someone we need them to be. We're waiting for them to ride for us. We're waiting for them to cheer for us. And they're not going to. And the pastor said we just simply need to let them fall away. Don't fight. No fuss, no muss, no drama. Release them. And if they come back and knock on the door and say, hey, wait a minute, where did you go? Then that's something worth fighting for and saving. But if they were only there to sort of feed on you, once you let them go, they'll fall away to someone else that's going to give them that energy. Don't throw good energy after bad energy. Now, I want you to realize that, because in your journey, you will have people who just aren't going to come along with you for the ride. And it's okay, because by releasing them, you are clearing space for the people who need to be in your life to come into your life. Not everybody can join you on the journey, and they're not meant to, and it's okay. So with all of that said, those are the 5 signs that you are ready to quit your job and pursue that passion or plan. Or, maybe if you're not quite ready to pursue that side hustle full time, and these are still good indications that your job is not fulfilling anymore, and perhaps you do want to make a transition to another company that will pay you more or provide more of that paid free education and learning, then that way you have even more to invest as you build to leaving your main hustle, your 9 to 5, to turn your side hustle into a main hustle. I thank you so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and turn on the alerts so you know when I post new content. And let's continue this discussion. Join me at I am Nile Harris on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And let's connect on LinkedIn. And I will see you back here real soon.